Welcome back to Oblivious Maximus. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Searle. Joining me today and always is
Aaron, me, the other host. Sam from Iron Mind, back at it on the pod with us.
Yeah, boys, thanks for having me again.
Pleasure.
Thanks for coming on. We were just in a big Chrissy wrap up.
Yeah, just having grown up D&M.
Yeah,
real quick.
Trying to decide if you can start hosting.
Yeah,
Christmas,
which I did.
You successfully did it.
Yeah, but first time, yeah.
First time ever.
That's it. And I feel like our parents they probably hosted their first Christmas like when they were 10 years younger than us.
Oh yeah,
so,
for sure.
It's definitely a generational thing. We haven't hosted we hosted like a mini Christmas this year for the first time. Like we're just dipping our toes in the water.
Yeah,
it's just like we were just saying. I'm feeling it's right around the corner where we're doing the whole shebang. So
yeah,
yeah.
I really feel like in the last, maybe the last 5 years, but certainly the last two, like, man, I'm way more grown up than I envisioned I would ever be.
Yeah, I don't feel that, but
yeah, I feel like, man, this is kind of a crazy way to start, but sometimes I feel like, man, I am absolutely just a kid, and then in other ways, I'm like, I can't believe I'm a dad, I'm married, I'm a homeowner. Like,
yeah, well, that
like,
I would say the jarring point of that for me, generally speaking, is at shows when interacting with a lot of people who are much younger. Because I mean, I obviously knew this would happen at some point, but like I'd say the last couple of years have been the real like unk turn mentally.
Yeah,
because like
we're the unk pod, really.
Yeah, that's true.
It's weird because I feel like in some ways, like because I'm the oldest in Iron Mind, I've kind of always felt like unk. But like,
are you chopped?
Yeah, but within myself, I do not feel.
No,
I feel very immature, like young and immature. Yeah. Like within, it's like concentric circles.
Yeah. But I would say like I still, I hang around with people that are much older than me that were kind of people that led me into this stuff as well. And then like, I mean, still. Like anytime I see any member of mine's now, I'm like, part of me still is like, there's the coolest person on earth who did this before I could.
Yeah. Like one thing I have been reflecting on lately, partly, becoming a dad and all that is when I was younger, like when I was, let's say first starting to go to shows or whatever. Back then I can remember thinking like, there's no way I'll be allowed to do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
When I'm grown up,
when I'm grown up.
Like when I'm doing all this stuff that my parents do, there's no, my parents don't get to go to cool, like my parents love rock music growing up. They don't still get to go to shows or make art or any of this thing. So that's sort of in the back of my mind. Like even if it wasn't like completely conscious, I feel like that has always been in the back of my mind. It's like, well, one day you'll have to grow up. One day you'll have to,
Well, I think that maybe is a bit of this weird thing for millennials where we've kind of like seen what our parents were able to do and then have made a choice to go like, well, because it's one thing to be older and not tapped in and whereas I feel like we're still connected with the stuff that we grew up with, where you're like, I think about people I went to high school with who definitely feel way older than me. The same age because they've kind of like made this cutoff choice to go like, well, I'm not associating with these things when I did when I was younger, and sometimes that is a healthy choice. But if you had like good things in your youth, which you're involved in music and art and you've continued those things, it's like this conscious choice to be like, well, no, why would I want to live a life without that stuff?
Yeah, no, 100%. For me, it's like, because I haven't really spoken about this. It's like such a personal kind of thing. It's like you just don't randomly talk about this, like, at the pub, on a Friday night. But like something like I've always reflected in my personality. Like I've never been like I've always been very risk adverse. I've never been very reckless, like burn the boats. Like I'm just gonna, live fast, die young. Like, it's like probably why I'm like in a hardcore band and not like a crust band or something. You know what I mean? Like,
in a squat. Yeah.
Like straight up. But like to say that, like I always would look at, people who lived in a squat, people who like train hoppers. Like I was always very drawn to that subculture, knowing that like I could never do that. Like I am too much of a wimp to do that,
Yeah.
And so the way I've kind of lived my life has been very like, absolutely, I'm an artist and I love music and like it or not, this is my life. This is what I've surrounded my life with, but it's been very incremental. It's been like, I'm going to take a step in this direction. Has my life blown up? No. All right. I'm going to take another step. And here I am 42 and I'm still just like step by step by step. And when I say I'm like, wow, like it's kind of working. Like I can't believe when I was younger, I never thought it would have worked like this. So, Christmas and all that, like kind of reflecting and definitely feeling blessed and like very fortunate, even though there's like obviously lots of, upsetting stuff happening around the world. It's like it's hard not to feel fortunate and lucky and all that. So it
is an interesting thing because I think some of those people that did go all in are some of those people that have done like a 180 and all out now.
Well, I would say that's like
it's not sustainable.
No, and I would say that's most of the people that burn it super hard, super fast. Is that like maybe they have the craziest 4-year bracket, but then they can't come back from it.
And
and I mean, I think that there's two sides to it too. Like, I mean, the point you were making before, I still think one of the weirdest things about this sort of subculture or creative pursuits in whatever, sort of platform is that, like it's very socially acceptable to be obsessed with footy when you're a kid and then make your life sport or whatever. But it weirdly, for some reason, you need to grow up out of music or you need to grow up out of like more creative things that society wouldn't have you do with sport. Maybe it's because there's such an industry built around, sport or whatever that might be. But the other part to it too is like, you don't often hear about people like going berserk for an athletic pursuit for like 2-year period, but then you have someone who'll find crust punk and just go psycho for 2 years and then be like, working at a call center in the city 5 years later because they've gone too hard down that direction.
No, for sure. I mean, that's interesting about the footy thing because, I was never good at footy, so therefore I wasn't drawn to it. But I think even with that, even if I was good at it, I don't know that I would have, would have like got into it the same way I've gotten into create. Like what I'm trying to say is I think it's personalities, like different personalities are attracted to different things. But then,
well, I guess there's the expression element.
Yeah. I think what like to be, what's the word I'm looking for? To not be cynical about the sport thing. I do think like with footy, for example, you've got that, there is that, the carrot of like, well, professional sports can be very lucrative
for sure.
Even if you're not on that level. I think local footy club culture, family culture is a positive thing.
100%.
You know what I mean? And so I have looked at that and like for sure music provides that similar thing, but it is different. It is, I mean,
it's less structured.
Yeah. And
because I would say even in, specific to hardcore, like, there was that older generation when we were kind of around growing up. And then whereas now there's like the young kids are into it now and then like the millennials and then the older heads again. There is this kind of more, and maybe that's more of an Australian thing. Like it's just not as big and now it is kind of bigger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can get into that maybe a bit later, but like for sure what you just sketched out is in my opinion, why hardcore today is probably the biggest it's ever been is because there's been this retention of generations.
Yeah.
There's like the people who are into it in the 90s still kind of, those bands are still playing every now and again. Those people who are into those bands are like, yeah, I'm going to go see that band again. And the millennials are still like, we're the millennials. We never stopped doing it. We're still doing it. And now you've got the younger generations who are getting into it. So you've got like 3 layers. And so that's what I think is and that's world over. That's definitely, that phenomenon is happening in the US, in Europe, and in obviously Australia. And I think that it's not the only reason, but I think that's a big part of why hardcore's got to be as big as it's ever been right now. Yeah.
And I think particularly here in Australia, I think we just had, maybe didn't quite have the foundation. Well, we had the foundation, but just like, you just need more people, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Big year for Iron Mine last year.
Yeah.
Album comes out, and then ending the year with the Flatspot show. That was something else.
Nah, absolutely, mate. It was like, the year in general was great.
Big year for you as well, doing your big show. Dad?
Yeah.
What's a
No, like I said, reflecting and feeling very, very grateful because it was a great year for me. I was chatting to my wife like sort of and saying like 20 years of kind of grinding and not knowing if this is going to work or that's going to work. And I had a successful art exhibition at a new gallery, which you guys both were at, which is great. Appreciate that.
Patrons of the arts.
Yeah. Got to support. But no, that was on that note. Yeah. Like on a personal level, it was a big six. It was one of those sort of moments where it was like, I've hit another level here after sort of, working hard for a long time. And with art, it's like anything, I guess. It's like you have to do it, loving it. With maybe you don't get those milestones, maybe it's I think, not to go on too much of a tangent, but like when I was younger, I think that like culturally or just like what was sort of I was being taught or exposed to is this idea that like, you've got to get a big break early and then you've got to use that momentum to get here or get there or get this opportunity. And for what, like, I'm so in a way, like an example that the audience might understand was like back when I was like sort of starting out as an artist, Tumblr was a huge thing.
Yeah.
And like what was exciting about it is like anyone could like go viral. Like before going viral was a term, it was like you could post something on Tumblr and if like a famous account reposted it, reblogged it, it could get millions of views, and someone somewhere could see it, and you could
get that Yimmy Yayo reblog.
Bro, so that's right. And I never got the Yimmy Yayo reblog.
Still chasing it.
Yeah, still. Bro, well, you joke, but that's basically an artist's life. You are chasing. So, but. I never got, and like, here's the thing, most artists don't get those. This is what you learn the hard way. Well, not the hard way, but just like you learn through experience that most artists don't get those kinds of things, and it's a slow grind, and you gotta love it. You can't just be in it for the Tumblr fame.
Yeah.
And so, like that's how my career as an artist has gone, is just, going at it, trying this didn't work, or doing something and it sort of, and then feeling like you're starting from scratch again every year, every time.
Yeah.
Whereas this show that just went past, it was, I was really happy with the work. It was like the probably like the best work I've made. It got that response from not just like the audience of people who came, but other artists who they could see. They're like, oh, bro, this is great. Like you've really tapped into something here. It all sold, which is
amazing.
A
great sign of it too.
Yeah, exactly. But the big thing was I worked with like Backwards is, for those who aren't familiar, it's it's a gallery that's been in Melbourne for I think 15, 16 years, maybe longer. Could have that wrong. Always it's like been like the center of like street art, like when that sort of started. Friend of the show, Callum Preston, is like had a lot to do with it, and like the Everfresh gallery, there was like a lot. The Everfresh crew, there was like always like a strong connection between this gallery and all that sort of stuff. And it's still continued. Like a lot of galleries in Melbourne have closed from that era, so it's still going. So it's a really renowned gallery. The first time showing with them. And it went really well. I clicked with Byron, who is the director now, and it just really felt like a good. Well, like as an artist, you want to work with people who are excited about your work, and you want it to be like a partnership. You want to grow together.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times as an artist, you don't find that. Like you find people, which is just how it is. It's like you do something, and it's a lot of the time as an artist, you feel like you're on your own. So to find like a gallery that you feel supported by, who sort of sees what you're doing, and you can sort of share in that success together, and then kind of look to the future as like, well, what could we do next? We could do this. I found that with this show, and it was so that's why I say it was a successful show. And then juggling that with being a dad and putting out a new record. Really, really, really great year. Have to say, couldn't do it all, any of it without, I've got a very supportive wife. So, chatting to her about all this, it was a really good year. But, the record came out middle of the year. Jumped on here last time to chat about it. But
I feel like last time I spoke to you, you were like, we're just sort of quieting down a bit after like the end of the year. And then start of the year with supporting Turnstile and announce this sick tour.
It like you said, finishing the year with Flatspot World, like that was like poetic's the wrong word, but it's like perfect, because part of like what was so sick about releasing Test of the Iron Mind is that we got to do it on Last Ride and Flatspot. Flatspot, for people who don't know, is run by Ricky Singh and another guy, Che, who is based in Baltimore. But Ricky is the guitarist from Backtrack, who Iron Mind toured with like a number of times, like about 10 years ago, which at the time was like a massive deal for Iron Mind. We're almost going to...
Well, Backtrack like came out here a fair few times.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty... I guess it's like I've been looking back at a lot of old flyers, and you're like, fuck, a lot of bands came here.
Yeah, man.
And a few times.
And so talking about that generational thing, that first Backtrack tour, that first time that they came out, that was one of those generational shifts, which at the time we weren't sort of when you're in it, you're not sort of
you don't know what's happening.
You're not aware of it, but that was definitely one of those shifts, because when we did that tour, right before it, we were talking about like hanging it up, because that was the natural course of, we'd been a band for like 7 years at that point, and we've just gotten to like that part of things. T-Bone had moved on, we'd gotten another guitarist in, and we were talking like, well, look, like, and up until that point, all we'd wanted to do was a support of we wanted to do a national support. We hadn't got that opportunity. The era before that, I sort of mark in my mind was like, 2000s hardcore with like, Miles Away, Carpathian, 50 Lions, Pro Team, the Broderick, all those sorts of bands. We started like when that was all going, so we kind of missed out on being like right in the thick of all that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we sort of missed out, like we never got to do a full Australian tour with any of those bands. We'd just get like a show here or a show there. When we got offered that Backtrack tour, that was Ollie from Sydney. He was like a new promoter. He was like the younger generation of like newer people who were starting, who he was going to bring out these next generation of US bands. And we did that. And right before we did that tour, we said to ourselves, listen, we'll do this tour, and maybe like that will be it. This will be like the kind of peak of what we do. And then afterwards, if we're still not feeling it, if we're still worn out, well, we can call it a day and we'll go out on a high note and it'll all be good. But like that tour was like every show after show was like the best show we'd ever played. And what that was the generation of kids who weren't, when Hell Split Wide Open came out, that were sort of too young to be involved, right? But, you know, or like they were just discovering it or they weren't coming to shows. But like by the time we did that backtrack tour, Hell Split Wide Open had been out long enough to all these kids were starting to come to shows. And so we, show after show, we got this crazy reaction that we'd been, you know, dying for our entire existence. We finally got it. So it was incredible. And the backtrack guys turned out to be total legends and we're still really good friends with them today. And so Ricky from Flatspot is a guitarist of backtrack and like that's where the relationship started. So to be able to release the record last year with Flatspot, it was, and then end the year with Flatspot Last Ride World, it really is special for us. You know what I mean? And it's like
I think hearing you talk about that, I guess in my mind it makes sense, but I hadn't really thought about that kind of like you guys coming in at the kind of like that first kind of that 2000s wave. Yeah. You guys kind of being
at the end of it.
Yeah. And that kind of like shifting into this new era. Like it was, it is a pretty significant shift because you have this whole group of bands that kind of stopped or like, you know, wound down a little bit.
Exactly.
And it felt like it kicked it into this new era. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, and again, at the time, it's like it's only upon reflection that we're able to kind of put all this together because, and again, it's like, it's why we're like, you know, we wonder, it's like, well, why are things so popping now? And like, that's part of it is like that there's been another wave, you know, there's been another, because people will say like there was that period from 2014, 15, 16 where things were pretty quiet. Yeah. You know, and it's just everything kind of goes in cycles. And what's happened is another generation of kids is coming through. And now there is another wave of like sick bands. And and it goes to show it's like if you like, I think people sort of like wonder, it's like, well, like what's behind Iron Mind's kind of success? And it's like, well, we just didn't quit. We just kept going. Like,
well, it's similar to what you were saying about art stuff is like you expect there to be these like big pops.
Yeah.
And often there is never a big pop. Yeah. There's just these, you know, like this compounding effect.
Yeah.
Where you just like eventually it's like you said, like I think the thing about like, well, by the time you'd come around with Backtrack, it's like enough kids had just heard the record.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, that's just time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to wait for that, you know, you know, talking about waves, it's like you're like waiting for the wave, you're paddling out, waiting for the wave.
It's spot on because, and I think part of it was in the mid 2000s when hardcore was the previous golden age. It was the case that like bands would start and they would just be like shot out of a cannon, you know. And like that's how 50 Lions went. That's how like Hopeless went.
Yeah,
you know. And I think that's what we were looking. And I think in our minds at the time when we were just starting, that was our frame. That was our framework. That was our reference of like, well, this is what it means to be popular. You know, if this doesn't happen for you, then you're not popular. You know, there's something wrong with you.
So a lot of that too was really funny. Like being in that time, which you know, a lot of people, you know, who would listen to this now were not there for that. But like, I had a similar thing too. Like, I mean, we thought Slow Burn was going to be like our band because in Canberra we played every big show. And then for whatever reason, it didn't go. And, you know, it was melodic hardcore. That's probably why it didn't go. But we started I Exist, which was just like the dumb version, the kind of gag. And then within like 6 months, we were doing a national tour. And it was like, and again, because some of us, like, you know, two of the guys were in Hard Luck and they'd been around and they were like, they kind of like, it's not surprising, but they were also like, oh, weird that everyone likes this one.
Yeah. And I think what it is as well is like with lots of things in life, but especially with any creative pursuit, behind the success really is it's relationships.
Yeah.
Right. And probably what I mean, I'm just taking a punt, but like probably a big part of what you just described with I Exist is that all the members of I Exist were brought into it, these relationships.
Yeah.
And
100%.
other bands and bookers were like, oh, these guys, I know these guys now, they're legends. I'll put them on.
Yeah.
That's 100% is what's happened to Iron Mind is like, it's just time in the game. You're building relationships like with Ricky.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a big part of it is that he's our mate. And you want to
100%.
work with your mates.
Yeah.
You want to see your mates succeed. So I guess it's like, you know, putting my unk hat on. It's like, but straight up, because it's like you're not thinking about it when you're 18, 19, but it's like it pays to be honest, a good person, a genuine person, and not like trying to like step over people because you want this or you want that. It's really, you should be thinking long term and you know, I don't want to say like, you know, giving back but that's really what it is about, is like, you know, you do things for other people, you help out other people, and it does lead to does lead to good things happening for you.
Yeah, and I think that's the, you know, I suppose that we've talked about it a bit about on here, but it's like that's the difference between being involved with the scene rather than just being in the music industry.
Yeah.
Like there is this element of like, well, you know, the people who are your mates are going to advocate for you, and you know, they don't necessarily have to be mates or whatever, but it's like people you know, trust you and know that you're going to do a good job or whatever. You're more likely to give someone a shot if you kind of, you're like, oh, this is a good person.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to give this dog a crack.
That's it. Like the poppin' band who it turns out they're a bit arrogant or they're rude or they, you know, even as like, they fob you off or whatever. No, you're not gonna when all the what's that with the expression about like who you pass on the ladder going up, you see them coming down or whatever. It's like another way to explain that is it's like all these different people that you're interacting with that are involved in, whether it's the music industry or the hardcore scene or the you know, the art scene or whatever, you know, everyone's working on something. Everyone's trying to do something. And I'm not saying like you should, you know, think of everything as like some strange transactional thing or look at people as like, well, what can I get out of them? But it's more just to the point of like there's so many cool people within the hardcore scene that, you know, like in a number of years' time, it's like maybe they're booking shows, maybe they've started something that you can help out with or be involved with. So it just pays to be a good person and not overlook the younger person or the person who's not like who can't immediately give you the thing that you want straight away. It's like it just pays to be honest, to give everyone the time of day and just give everyone a fair crack. And I'd say that like that's what Iron Mind's always done, and that is a big part of why we're still going. You think of all the bands that like have had arguments or beefs or whatever, and it always ends in the band breaking up because it's just unpleasant.
It can't survive the course of their like being fuckheads, basically.
Basically, mate. So I mean, there's a million reasons why a hardcore band breaks up. It's like it's honestly a miracle that any hardcore band keeps going because it's like you don't have to be. You don't have to have a band full of fuckwits for it to be to find a reason to break up after like a couple of years. It's just the natural course of things. So yeah.
This tour coming up, pretty sick. How did this come together?
So Neil booked it all. Like Neil's become like a real gun at booking shows and tours. It was basically like we did we can't do tons and tons of stuff, right? And we can't just sort of say yes to everything. So what we thought around the time of the album launch tour last year, not long after that, because that was great. We really, really enjoyed it. So we were like, all right, we'd love to do something like that again. Like when should we do something like that? And looking forward, we're like, well, based on everyone's sort of schedule and what everyone's going on, like summer next year could be good. So Neil was like, all right, I'm going to start penciling it out like right away, and that's sort of where it came from. And yeah, I agree. It's real because part of the flip side of hardcore being so good at the moment and it being so poppin' is like there's so much going on.
Yeah.
So when it comes to booking something, it's a real minefield. And so yeah, we've gotten really fortunate. Only able to do 6 shows. Had to skip a couple of cities, which is unfortunate, but it was a miracle that we got what we did.
Yeah, you got them in like a straight line too, which is crazy.
Yeah. And sick bands, 6 supports as well. We're not taking a single band as main support this time. We just thought, we'll keep them a bit like slightly smaller venues, and we'll keep it a bit more compact.
Yeah, sick.
And just have local openers, but all sick venues. And after playing Flatspot World and Turnstile, like which were incredible, I'm looking forward to just playing like a kind of a regular Iron Mine show. Really looking forward to it.
Because I guess like it feels like, even just get the sense from the band that everyone's pretty gassed up to do shit at the moment.
Yes.
It would be hard not to be after the last 2 runner shows.
Yeah, you'd be surprised though, because but you nail on the head. Everyone is, I would say, at this point of the band, like everyone is higher spirits. Like and we've never been a band that's had like real. I mentioned before around that time of that like 10 years ago, around the time of that Backtrack tour that we're and ahhing about calling it quits. That wasn't even that like dramatic or anything. It was just like 7 years of a band. It's like it
one of those things.
One of those things, yeah. So we've always part of the reason why we're still going is that we've always been really respectful of each other, always looked after each other. So that's great. But yeah, right now it's like everyone is. It's a maturity thing. I think everyone is older, and so we've all got that the benefit of like, hey, we're big privilege to get to still be able to do this. This is actually kind of insane that we're still able to do this, and we're hitting all like this is the best point of the band is still peaking, so everyone is like, and everyone's very aware of like, well, if someone decides to throw a tanty, it's like that ain't gonna that's gonna spoil it for everyone. So don't do that. So everyone, if for whatever reason, let's take a breath and everyone is definitely gassed up. But we are all the other side of that is we are all busy. There's a lot going on. So it's like we've got to be really strategic about what we do and don't do so that we don't burn out on it. Because it's like number one is we've all got to we got to keep enjoying it the way we've enjoyed it. We can't like do a show just because it gets offered to us when everyone is a bit tired or a bit worn out. So there's definitely more discussion about like
picking your battles a bit more.
Yeah. Like we've been asked to do this. Do we want to do it? If everyone's not like really on board, then we're not doing it. Only in order to preserve those high vibes. Yeah. But everyone's definitely pumped about these shows. Yeah.
Turnstile gig, pretty unreal.
Yeah.
Biggest gig for you guys?
By far, orders of magnitude. So we were chatting about this. I think to that point, the biggest show we'd played was one of the hardcores back in the day.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi in Sydney. It's called something else now. I think it's
Max Watts now, maybe, or maybe it's still a Hi-Fi. But yeah, the one big
in
room.
Sydney,
in Fox Studios.
It's in a week. Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I don't know what that's called now, but it was Fox Studios.
Yeah, anyway, 2012. Like so.
Oh yeah, I was at that
number of years. I think that's 2000 cap.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Don't know if it was sold out, so may not have even been 2,000 people. But so that was the biggest. We estimate that's the biggest show we've ever played. I don't know, maybe one of the Break the Ice Fests, but those wouldn't have been.
No, it's hard to judge. I feel like that basketball.
I have trouble. I have trouble judging how much time I have to cross the street if a car's approaching me. Like I'm not.
So numbers of people, no good.
Shocking. Depth perception, speaking ability. Yeah.
No, it was massive though.
It was huge. I think it was, someone said pretty close to 6,000 people.
Yeah, I think so.
All up. So without a doubt, the biggest show we played, it was sick. It was really, really great. For kind of a number of reasons. Again, like the similar thing with like getting to do Flatspot World, getting to do the record with Ricky. We toured with Turnstile 10 years ago in the States when they were just starting. Akira is quite good friends with them because Born Free toured with them. So there is those connections there. James Vitalo, the singer of Backtrack, is their manager. So there's a lot of connections there. And yeah, we were that tour that we did with them, they just started. I mean, as soon as Turnstile started, they were the sickest band ever. Yeah. You know, they were out the gate. They were like on fire. And it's been like obviously so amazing to see what they've done. Like it's literally unbelievable what they've done, what they've achieved. So to get to share in that in Melbourne was really, really special. And the show went great. You know, it was definitely like intimidating, like rocking up this empty venue. So much production happening.
Shed.
There's that. And then there was everything that was going on stage when we were like sound checking. It was just like, oh wow, like this is
all the video stuff and
their video stuff, the curtains. They're all setting that up every night. Like it's a full like on the road show. You know? All their team were really, really cool. So what was great for me is I have a tendency of these big shows to like fully like wig out prior to playing. And so sometimes I don't fully enjoy the big shows because I'm like too wound up and I'm just kind of waiting for it to be over so I can like relax.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that. We're really present. And yeah, our set went off. We last time I was on here, we were chatting about the intro. We were debating. We were like, "Oh, listen, we're just opening. Like, I don't know if we should play the full intro. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's a minute and a half, and is that going to be weird?" But then we were like, "Nah, like we've been doing it.
Bit.
That's our bit. Yeah, we're gonna give the people this is what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know, we kicked around and say, oh, maybe we should just like do something. If we did something, if we cut it in half, like if we faded it in, it might be that might be weirder.
Yeah.
So we went with it and it went off. It like it's like we were playing at the Bendigo or something. People just started moving around.
Well, we were standing outside and I was like, we should go in a sec. I think Iron Mind are about to play. And then we just heard this, we could hear like the talking. We're like, the intro's on, let's go. So, and like, it was cool. I sort of like, you sort of split the crowd into three parts. So it was like the kids down the very front on the barrier who were clearly waiting for Turnstile. You know, they were screaming their heads off. They were just like having a good time. Right. Which I love that because that was something that I've never experienced in 20 years. 20 years of Iron Mind is like the young kid. Young rockers
who just want to scream and like
on the barrier.
I love that. And then there was like a pit opened up, and then behind them was like the punters, you know, and it was all good. Every song sort of went off. We honestly, we couldn't have hoped for a better set, a better response. And then the night was just so sick. It's like, cause it was a real, like to your point of like hardcore never being bigger, it was totally a hardcore show. There was like 6,000 people there, like pumping. You know?
I mean, it's sort of mind-boggling, really. To think that like a year ago or whenever it was that, you know, they played the Forum. I missed that show. I saw them at the Enmore in Sydney because I was there, and like I was like, this is a big show. And then to see them in a fucking hangar in Port Melbourne with the video wall behind them, and you know, and like you say, the production. It's like, oh, this is a show.
Well, I bumped into an old friend who's an AV guy, and I was like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm working the fucking TV wall.
Mate,
and I was
there was so many people working. That's why I said it was intimidating rocking up. There was so many people working, like, and we were like, you know, we rock up with our amps. And we're like,
Where do we put the 50 on 50?
Yeah, everyone was met heaps of cool people. Mords was there, but he was working with Basement, who was sick, and like great dudes as well. They had a sick set. Had a great chat with Mords. We were both like reflecting on, bro, still doing it.
Yeah,
still doing it. So, but yeah, man, Turnstile's set was just they played for an hour and a half, and I swear it didn't. It felt like 20 minutes.
When someone said to me there was like 90 minutes, I was like, was it?
Yeah.
I was like, that didn't feel like that at all.
Yeah.
And like, I was kind of like, well, I think I saw you for a second right on the right-hand side there. And I was like, man, that just whizzed by.
Yeah.
They're playing songs from every era now. And all the young kids are just getting into every single thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of phenomenal to watch, and and I think just the impact of what the band has put out there, like you said, it's still a hardcore show, but just dialed up to this other level, which I don't think any of us have ever really seen before.
No, man, no way. Honestly, it's inspiring. It's like, and to your point of like, you're playing songs from all their entire catalog. It's like, you could kind of break down. I was talking about this with Akira and Otis. It's like they've kind of got three separate sounds. They've got the original hardcore sound like that they came out with, like the step to rhythm era. They've got the more punk kind of sound from the
time and space, that kind of era.
Yeah, glow on that sort of that faster stuff. And then they've got this newer. I'm not like a guitar head, so I don't know what the term is, but it's kind of like that new wavy, the spangly guitars.
Yeah.
It all just flowed together so perfectly, right? It was like, honestly, like from a performance point of view, I'm watching, I'm going, oh, damn, like they've got this so dialed in because they know like nothing is by accident, right? It's like they give the crowd the perfect amount of time to kind of go a little bit down, but not too down. And then bring them like this is how they get 6,000 people jumping up and down, right?
Yeah.
And then back down, because you can't do that. You can't have 6,000 people jumping up and down nonstop for an hour and a half. So it's like they're
really playing the crowd.
Playing the crowd. There's no boring bits. And you can't take your eye off any of them.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's unbelievable.
Figuring out all the visual stuff too is where like I think bands like that come into their own as well. Like having the split between like, some songs having video stuff, then other songs just being like flat color.
Yeah.
I mean, when the disco ball came out, I was like, I mean, this shit rocks.
Yeah.
I'd also by the time the disco ball came out, I'd had 17 Bodrigi lager cans, and I was like, oh my god, the disco ball's beautiful.
No, it was good. Like I said, man, like it felt like a very special night. And it didn't feel like we were just kind of tacked on.
Yeah,
because we didn't know. It's like it's completely plausible, right? That we got on stage and 6,000 people were kind of just like
standing there,
politely standing and watching, but in their heads kind of going, all right, but I came for Basement and Turnstile, you know what I mean? Wasn't the case. We felt like we're like Melbourne hardcore was there, you know what I mean? And so to get to share in that show with Turnstile and to be a part of it and to share with like, what's going on in hardcore around the world, it felt great, man.
I feel like a lot of those, particularly younger kids are like, well, if Turnstile have put this band on, we should.
Yeah. Well, and I think
they've kind of cultivated that.
They've done a very good thing as well they do that a lot broadly, but these shows here particularly, like having a local band in each place that is doing something cool that is awesome as well.
Absolutely. Like obviously still very, because you wouldn't be able to fault them if they were like outsourced, like, listen, we're just going to, our management are just going to support.
Find something that sounds kind of like us or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever. But they're obviously still very involved in all of that. Got to, obviously kick it with them, and they're just like, not like very down to earth. Like they're still the same people. Man, Atiba was there taking photos. That was
that's sick.
Such a spin out, man. And like he was sick. We chatted to him for like an hour afterwards. Like, and not just like oh, hey, nice to meet you. All right, see you later. He was asking the boys like, oh, what about this? Because they're all skaters, and so they were broing down on that. And yeah, man, the vibes were good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the vibes will be even better at this tour.
So all 6,000 people that attended the Turnstile gig, get into Stay Gold.
Yeah. So look, even if we can get
if you get a
handful,
one more, still counts.
No, that's it. No, we're psyched to get back to Stay Gold. Like I said, all the venues we're getting back to Canberra for the first time. The Basso, we never played obviously never played the Basso. So that show is going to be, we think it's going to be really, really good. We got Scorn coming from
who's playing the shows? Obviously, we're recording this well in advance.
But
by the time this is up, you'll have it done.
That's it. Yes, we get Scorn are coming over from Newcastle. Thantu Thicca are playing.
Fuck yeah.
And Orc.
Oh yeah,
opening.
Sam.
So
my Sam.
Yeah, your Sam. Who
Orc are great, by the way. They're so fucking good.
No, we every show has absolutely sick supports, but that Canberra show, we're very excited about it because
that's awesome.
We haven't played in a while. Obviously, what like the Thantu boys are doing at the moment is awesome. So psyched to play the Basso. Brisbane, we're playing Black Bear Lodge with Mud, No Harm, and Scram. Speaking of these Turnstile shows.
Just played with them yesterday.
Just played with them yesterday. I saw photos. It looked absolutely
crazy.
Absolutely insane. So that's going to – so we played with Scram middle of last year in Brisbane at the Burning Hammer showcase. And I think I was telling you boys last time I was on just how sick it was. Yeah. So really excited to get back up there. We missed the Gold Coast on that last run, so we promised. We're playing Vinny's Dive.
That'll be sick.
Yeah, we played Vinny's Dive with No Warning.
Oh yeah,
a couple of years ago. That was like a highlight of the tour, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a very sick venue. It's fucking awesome.
Listen, Neil booked all of the support, so forgive me if I miss one or two.
That's okay.
We're playing with Cold Blood.
Yep. Sick band.
Death Proof.
Yep.
And I think Blindside.
Okay.
In Gold Coast. So all Gold Coast bands.
Yep.
They've obviously got their own like cool scene happening there. So yeah, psyched for that. Sydney. Actually, I don't think the Sydney supports are all 100% confirmed, but we are playing with Feel the Pain and Bozo.
Nice.
At Bootleggers, which we haven't played.
That'll be sick. That venue is little.
Yeah.
I'll be at that show.
Ben.
Nice.
I'm unfortunately going to miss the Melbourne show, but I'm in Sydney at the same time. So I'm going to do my gig and then come across.
Awesome, mate. Oh, as long as you're at one.
Yeah. Got to fly the flag.
No, that's going to be. Yeah, we've been told it's like smaller, but
it'll be sick though.
Like I said, it's like we're up for that after having just played Pika. So
haven't played the Hanger.
Yeah. Stay Gold. We've got Scorn are coming down to Melbourne, I think for the first time. I have to check my notes on that, but yeah, really psyched to bring Scorn down to Melbourne as well. Implode. Playing and Shell Game are opening.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm pumped as to see Shell Game.
Yeah.
I've listened to that demo a ton. Like
they're fucking awesome.
Yeah. And Implode are just
Implode are great.
Yeah.
So
I
feel like they're better every show.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's what we said when we were all doing a powwow on who we want. It's like, Implode are getting real good. Like
literally every show. I think that's the main takeaway every time I see them. It's like, man, they're better than the last time. And then the next time it's like, wow.
Saw him with Combust, and that was very impressive. So that'll be good. And then Adelaide. And Adelaide, we're playing at the New Ed Castle.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure like how long it's been open for, or if it's.
I feel like I played a show there and they're like, this is it, it's closing. And then like a month later, they're like, it's back.
Right. It's a new location, I think.
I think so, yeah. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Again, Neil booked it, so he's got, so if I've got something wrong, bother him about it. But
call in Adelaide.
Yeah. No, but the Adelaide show is going to be sick. Forewarned are playing.
Sick.
So they couldn't play the Melbourne show but they could play Adelaide, and I think
the drummers from there.
Yeah, I think another member lives there now.
Oh, true.
As well, Winners Circle,
sick
to play with them again, and Time Ends.
Awesome, they're fucking great.
Yeah, we played with them on that last run. Absolutely sick. Absolutely.
I got real pissed when I saw them and bought a 7-inch and a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man,
got to remember to wear that long sleeve shirt. Now that earlier talking about having too many shirts.
Well, winter's coming up.
Yeah. Check the cut and if it fits.
Exactly.
I think
that's it.
That's it. Yeah. So it's going to be really good. We're really like I said, we had a real ripper time with the record release shows. And so we sort of we're just stoked that we got the venues that we want, the dates we want, and we got so many sick bands. So we really can't lose. So really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Sick start to the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got coming up, brother?
Comedy Fest. Get around that. By the time this comes out, I hopefully will have announced it. But
are you being cautious here?
I'm being slightly cautious. But yeah, Surlo.net for all the details. But I'm at Cooper's Inn again for the first half of Comedy Fest. I got my new show, Go Go Go, at the Bendigo Hotel on Wednesday nights.
Yep.
That's starting soon. So that starts on Jan 21st. So come along to that.
Nice.
That's kind of it.
Dope.
Yeah. What about you, mate?
By the time this is out in the world, I assume I will be doing those Comeback Kid shows with Phantoms. I've learned the songs, so big update since last week.
Yeah.
Lee sent me videos, so I learned the songs, which is great. I'm really ahead of myself. I thought I might do it week of, but I've done it month before, so
sick.
Bodes well.
Yes, it'll be good.
Yeah. That'll be a great, because Gridiron are doing all those things as well. Yeah, dude.
I'm gassed up about seeing Gridiron. Obviously, I'm good mates with Comeback Kid too, so I'm psyched to see them. And good to hang out with Kelly for 2 weeks. So it'll be fun. And then Aglo's playing Flipping the Bird on the 28th of Feb. So if you're in Franga, come see Aglo at some point.
Even if you're not in Franga, if you're in Melbourne,
go
down to that.
It should be wild.
Be awesome.
Yeah. But that's it.
Thanks for coming in, Sam.
No worries. Thanks for having me, boys. And I'll see you in Sydney, and
I'll be in Melbourne.
See you in Melbourne.
Yeah. Catch you there.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.